Yo, what's cracking YouTube? It is your boy D back with another Raptors video again today. And in today's video, we're going to talk about Donovan Mitchell asking for a trade requests, and we're going to talk about if he should be on the Toronto Raptors or he should be traded there, and my thoughts on the trade rumors. So if you are new, hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and let's get into my thoughts and opinions on this video. Alright, first off, to talk about how Donovan Mitchell did last season. He played 67 games, which is a good amount of games for an all-star caliber player, and he averaged 25.9 points, rounding that to 26 points per game. As he got 4.2 rebounds at a size of 6'1" is very surprising, and he averaged 5.3 assists, which is decent, and shot the field goal at a 44% rate, and shot 35% from 3, which is pretty good, and he shot the free throw at an 85% clip. Also, which led to his field goal efficiency at 56% as well, as his PR to 21.6 and his win share at 7.2, which is pretty good. So apparently Donovan Mitchell signed a 5-year, $163 million deal with Utah Jazz, including the $163 million guaranteed, and his average guaranteed salary will go up to $33 million. And the next season he'll earn a base salary of $30 million while carrying a cap hit of $30 million and a dead cap of $33,351,708. Wow, that's a lot of money. Honestly, if I was the Raptors, that's gonna be a lot of money you're gonna have to trade for. That's like probably about $30 million they're gonna have to give up in trade salary for a yearly basis, as they have two max players in Fed VanVleet, Pascal Siakam, with some other fellows they can fill in, or even you can add someone like a Gary Trent Jr. and OG to fill in that cap. But I don't know how the Raptors do it, but in the side note, I would not do this because the Raptors aren't. You're just asking for money to have on dead days, honestly, because literally it's like a John Wall type of situation because you're making John Wall, who's a max player and is good at 6'1", he's not really doing a difference because though he's good on defense, like he's like Fred right now, and he can score buckets on a given night, I don't think Donovan should be on the Raptors right now because his contract right now is too expensive. If you can get him on a cheaper deal, like maybe when he goes to free agency, and like you can probably get him on like an extension on a max on like a 4-year deal, I would do it. But Mitchell, honestly, his contract gets too much to ask for, and that's gonna be a lot the Raptors are gonna have to give up because you're gonna have OG, honestly, whose contract about like $75 million. You're gonna have to make up for probably about like another 60 or 7 million. I don't know how much money he has, but he said it's 163 million. So you're gonna have like another 60 or 90 million to make up in cap or for trade value. So I don't know what they can do because I know the Raptors have probably a trade exception from other trades, but still, I don't know if I would do this if I were the Raptors. Alright, now let's talk about what Donovan Mitchell can do on and off the court. Honestly, Donovan Mitchell, you can score within a given amount of time and a given amount of period on the court. And a given playmaker at the average about 5 assists per game, and he can rebound the ball at a decent rate at 4 rebounds per game, so that's very good. And he contributes to your team's offense, and he can be active on defense very efficiently. He's kind of like Fred, but he's kind of a bit better because Mitchell, he can score on every given night, as you're seeing here in the highlights, but Mitchell, honestly, has got a God-given talent. In the playoffs, this guy turns it up. Like, literally, he turns it up to 110%, and he scores, like, almost 3 points per game as a playoffs. He's a playoff player, and he gives you, honestly, everything his contract offers at $160 million over a span of 5 years, which accumulates to about $30 million. You can say this is a max type of player, and he's going to be an all-star, and maybe soon, if he keeps playing like this to an MVP level, he can average like about 30 per game. But that's something on my point of view. But literally, if the Raptors can use his services, maybe you can say yes, and maybe you can say no. But honestly, would I trade him over Fred? I'm just trying to think. Would I trade him over Fred VanVleet? Because Fred, honestly, though really the same height, but literally I can't compare it to because Mitchell, honestly, on a given night, he scores more points as he played with duo in Rudy Gobert, though he dog shit. But if Mitchell, though the Raptors have like small ball people around him, and yeah, people like Precious Achua, Pascal Siakam, Gary Trent Jr., honestly, that could complement them very good. But you might have trade people like Gary Trent Jr. and people in your core, so that might mess up the roster or the Raptors system. But literally, I wouldn't mind Mitchell in a team, though I don't think it's a good move. But honestly, I think Mitchell and Fred, honestly, they have the same trade length and the same contract length, and they're both on extension, and Fred's probably going to go sign the extension probably maybe next season or the next season after. But I don't think Mitchell's really a good asset that we should use right now because Mitchell, honestly, though he's a good player, he's active on the defensive end like Fred VanVleet, and he can play more on the ball. I don't know, honestly, if he can probably sue in the Raptors right now, honestly, if I can see him in the Raptors uniform. But there's so many more arguments to begin on why Mitchell could be or could not be on the Raptors. But those are just my opinions. As we're nearing the end of the video, let's talk about some trade offers for Donovan Mitchell. Here's one I made on Fansbro. Apparently, the Raptors, they get Donovan Mitchell trade up, as the Jazz get Ken Burch, Malachi Flynn, and Fred VanVleet. The trade honestly isn't so bad because the Raptors are getting Donovan Mitchell, who they want as their point guard right now, but then they get some bench pieces in Malachi Flynn and Ken Birch, so Malachi Flynn didn't really do much this season. He could still boss him and go as a player, and Ken Birch, he could still possibly fit the back line and get Rudy Gobert, so I don't really think that trade is bad. But on to the next trade. The next trade we have here is pretty much similar, but basically it has different people as they added Gary Trent Jr. This trade is the trade I found online, and it has more first round picks. So the Jazz receive Gary Trent Jr., Malachi Flynn, Ken Birch, 2023 first and a 2025 first, and a first round pick in 2027, which are all from Toronto. And then the Raptors get Donovan Mitchell straight up. This is a trade I would not do because literally you're giving up Gary Trent Jr., who's a part of the Raptors core. As honestly, I'll just put Fed VanVleet here instead, and you can probably add 1 or 2 draft picks to make things easier, or you don't add draft picks at all. But I know the Jazz are going to ask for some draft picks, so honestly, I would not do this trade, but the other trade I made myself and adding Fed VanVleet, I would probably do because you're on both sides, as Ken Birch and Malachi Flynn aren't a part in our offense, and they'll blossom up and be part of Utah Jazz's good bench. But literally, that's 2 trade-offs that I have for you, and those are the trade-offs that I have at the moment. Alright guys, those are my thoughts on the Raptors on if they should go for Donovan Mitchell or not. And I hope you all enjoyed the video, honestly, but in my opinion, I don't think the Raptors should go for Mitchell because it's a long shot trade, as the Raptors are going to give a lot of assets and possibly trade their core. The only person I would probably trade, maybe you can probably say, is Fed VanVleet. Honestly, if you go to the next season, I would probably do this trade, but doing this season, I don't think so because the Raptors, they have good things to leave off of, as they have many things to improve on, so I wouldn't do it if I were the Raptors GM, but that's the end of the video, and make sure to like and follow for more, and more videos are on the way. Thanks for watching.